Welcome back to the Swank Golf Podcast. We got another dope show for you guys. My guest today, he's an avid golfer, the co-host of the Soul Table Podcast. Please welcome Evan Polk to the show. Welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate it.
Let's just jump in and let me ask you this question. How long have you been golfing, and what got you into golf?
So I'm golfing, playing golf. I re-picked it back up about a couple years ago. I'm playing golf since I was like a kid. My dad had taught me how to play golf. I put it down like after he died and was like, I don't want to touch golf clubs no more. So I put it down for about, 12 years. And then decided like one day I was like, I think I want to play golf again. And divine intervention hit. Some crackhead was walking past selling golf clubs. And I bought the clubs from him. He was trying to, get me for like $50. I said, no, 37. And he was like, no, 45. I said, look, my man, just so you know, I operate in only prime numbers. So the next one's going to be 31. So 37. He was like, no, 45. Cool. 31. He was like, fine, 31. Bought the clubs, had a bag of balls. He was like $10. I was like 7. He took the 7. So $38. I got a whole set of clubs and started back up from there.
Okay, all right. So when you first started back up, was it something that immediately like got you obsessed, or it grew on you?
I want to say it became obsession. It was like not muscle memory, but it put me back in a good place. It allowed me to, reconnect, or better yet, keep my dad close to me because he'd been gone for so long.
Yeah.
And like you have those times where like if I don't know if you lost a loved one or a parent or dad, anything like that, and you try to hold on to them for as long as you can. It's like if they got that cell phone number and you don't want to delete it.
Right.
That's what golf was for me. So it's like scrolling through, I found his phone number again, and I said, you know what, I feel better. Like I feel closer. So,
all right. With that said, would you say that golf is therapeutic?
Yes, 1,000,000%. Stressful therapy, but it's therapy nonetheless.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it. I think I enjoy it more now because I can understand what the game is doing. Like it is life lessons all throughout the golf course.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel better with it.
Okay. Well, what's some of those life lessons? How would you compare golf to life?
Patience. Like it teaches you to be patient because that's obviously the main thing you take from it, and trial and error. Like it's okay to fail.
Yeah.
That's the next thing. Like not every shot is going to be perfect. You're never going to be as good as you think you are.
Right.
And it's all about concentration, focus, and putting everything together, and patience. Once you get that concept and you understand when you hit that bad shot, it's okay. You got another million shots after that.
Right.
Now it's all dependent on what you do with that, that lesson, because you can be playing, full 18 and you have terrible shots all the way up into the 18th hole, and then you get that one good hit, you forget everything that just transpired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. That brings me to the thing I was gonna ask you. Like, what's something that keeps you coming back?
Just stress. like I'm like, no, I can't be this bad. Like it's a challenge. You know what? The challenge is what brings me back. I love a challenge. If it's difficult, if it has any degree of difficulty, I'm for it. So golf is an easy game, but it's difficult. We make it even more difficult. Whether you hit the fairway and it goes off into the rough, or it's out of bounds. It's like, all right, I can get myself out of this. That's life lessons right there.
Yeah,
so,
definitely life lessons. Golf is gonna kick your ass and show you who you are.
yes.
And then another thing that I like about golf is that you are who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like it ain't no faking it when you get out there.
Nope.
What would you say is something like a misconception that people have about the sport? Like something they think about it that's maybe not true.
That you have to be good, or you have to know what you're doing. You don't. Nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody's giving you different tips on how to shoot the same shot. Like I'm sure you've been, you've hit a ball into a rough situation, and a guy walks past and says, "All right, you need to get your 7-iron, choke up on it, and you just want to punch it out there." And somebody else comes up to you, "Oh, your feet's wrong.
Right.
You want to turn this way, and then you don't want to punch it out. You want to aim this way." And you're looking like, my man, there's like 30 different ways to do this. Just let me get this. Everybody's got, their hand in the pool, but don't nobody want, to get wet. That's how it is.
Right.
So just that.
Right.
Yeah.
On your golf journey that you're on right now, what's something that you're like really focused on, like getting better at?
Putting it together, because like nothing works sometimes. Like I have yet to put together a full game, and my guy Nick, who does my soul golf, he literally tells me one thing is going to be working, the next thing's not. So for me, the last 2 outings I had, my driver just was not working. Like I couldn't. I would hit 20 feet off the tee, and my irons were just doing everything. They were working. I was flushing. I was hitting the fairway from there, and I was cool. Flip around, my last outing, midway through our round, my driver started working and my irons quit. So just getting consistent and getting comfortable, keeping my head down, keeping my focus on the ball, not getting upset, worry about my feet and my lean. And also, too, for real, just not thinking that much.
Right.
Just play.
Just play.
Shoot your shot.
Just play. With that said, this is a good spot. We got to step away, talk to our sponsor real quick. We'll be right back. When the banks say no, where are you going to go? If you're a small business looking for funding, or if you have a new venture that you're trying to get off the ground, go to orightsolutions.com and they'll get you the funding you need. All right, we're back sitting here with Evan from the Soul Table. So when we first met, I'd say we kind of met. It was about a year or so ago at Chill Moody's Nice Things Invitational. Your golf cart was behind my golf cart, and me and my partner, we noticed, hey, look at their shoes. Those are some cool shoes. They all say Soul on the back. I wonder if that's their brand. I wonder if they customize those shoes. And then, lo and behold, I found out about the podcast.
Yep.
Can you tell me a little bit about like your process when you are like getting outfitted for a golf outing?
So for outing, we have it like, well, I will say we, because it's a team of us. So I have a guy who, like I said, I just said his name, Nick. He runs my soul golf part. Got a lot going on, and he'll tell me what brand we should use. So we'll test some stuff out and see which shoe works for us. So that particular outing at the Invitational, we did a Nike Field General turf shoe. It's a football shoe. It's built for the turf, and lo and behold, turf shoes are pretty good for golf shoes because they it's spikeless. It's basically a spikeless spike, and it gave us the grip we needed. And to customize it really wasn't much to it. We kept it all white with a red Nike sign. I put Soul Golf on the inside heel, on the tongue tag, and on the back, and it just worked for us. And it allowed us to actually play a little bit better because you could actually feel the ground a little bit more, particularly with your weight shifting. And like he's a New Balance person. I think this year he's probably going to try to force me to use New Balance. I already told him I'm not doing it. But not to say that I dislike New Balance, but I had already had my eyes set on something else. So he'll go and make sure the sole is right, that it can be used on the grass and on the greens and on the. He literally will. I will make him test the shoe out before we do it. If he plays right in it, then it's a go. If he don't, then he'll tell you no. He can just tell you by the look of the shoe and looking at the bottom, it doesn't work.
Okay, all right. So you talk about customizing. So you customize shoes often? That's like a thing you do, or?
That's one of the businesses I have. So I have a shoe restoration company. It's called Remade Reworn. So I'll take old shoes, or say you got shoes you want to have restored. I restore those. I can clean them. Say the sole is worn out and you want a new sole, I can resole them. You want something custom, I can customize them. And so whatever you need done to them, I can do them. I actually started from the pandemic, like we were talking. So.
Okay, yeah, a lot of things busted out of the pandemic. So let's shift over to shoes really quickly. Question that I wanted to know: when you pick out your shoes for the day or your outfit for the day, whether it's golfing or streetwear, what are you picking out first? Your shoes or your outfit?
Most people go ground up. I don't build from the basement. I start in the attic. I'm top down. So is all right for me. Most of the times I got a hat on. People think I'm bald. I'm not. It's just my hair is usually never cut.
Right.
So I'll start with the hat. Like I want to wear this. I want to wear this Phillies hat. Then I'll go to the bottom half, and like with the shirt's probably more prominent. And then I'll go from the shirt back to the hat to the pants, then the shoes. But when it comes to the shoes, it's a little hard because I have a shoeseum. So when I go in my shoeseum, there's tons of shoes out.
Right.
There's boxes galore. And if I'm in there, I'm like, oh, damn, I ain't wear these in a while.
Right.
Like, this might look a little bit better. And it really don't. I should have stuck with what I initially started, because then I'll pick a shoe that I now want to wear. Now I'm switching my shirt out. And so
Right.
now I didn't probably start at the basement. So no, what I do is I start from the top. And then before I go down to my shoe museum, I have an app, and it'll literally, I can scroll down, look at the shoe, like, all right, I'm putting these on, and I'm beelining right to them because I know exactly where they're at.
Okay. All right. Well, so you have like a whole system.
I got a system.
A whole system.
Yep.
Okay. So when you got back into golf, your love for shoes, did that like help you get back into it with like how golf shoes now are like,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? How golf shoes are, they more stylish than what they once were, and different genres and cultures are clashing. Is that something that you're into as
Yes, yes. So hell yeah, definitely. But to make it easier, I saw the pathway of how it relates, how it meshes with, particularly, like, my love. So once I started noticing that they started making like the regular sneaks into golf shoes, and then you can actually turn a regular sneak into a golf shoe by putting the spikes in. I'm not doing that, but I that addiction, that golf now became even more of an addiction, because like now I can be even more of myself on a golf course.
Right.
So yeah, definitely. Once I seen that and it aligned like that, I was like, oh, this is it. I'm taking this and doing this. That's actually how the custom shoes actually came about, because again, it's called Soul Golf, and I was like, I can take, a lot of my personality and a lot of my person and put it over here,
Right.
and still play this sport. Like, because I ain't going out, I ain't playing football no more. I ain't playing basketball. I ain't trying to get, it's not that I ain't trying to get broke up.
Yeah.
Is that I got to work. I got a family to feed. I can't be
Right.
doing all this. So definitely it aligned. And once I realized it aligned, it made it even more of a thing to do.
Yeah, and I love that for the sport right now, and I can say it definitely opened up the door for me because I can see more of myself, out there, and I think that's really cool. Do you? All right, so they have like of course they got the streetwear leaning style stuff, the mob bonds, the East Side stuff like that. How do you feel about like the traditional style of like on the golf course?
I'm cool with it. I actually have a pair of original Tiger Woods golf shoes. I played on them one time. I could only get about 2 holes in them because the air cartridge it was done for.
Okay.
But the traditional style, wearing the spikes with the leather shoes and the khakis, or the golf pants with the red polo or black polo, whatever, the standard polo. I like it. I love it, and never really had much disdain for it at all. It was just one of those things. It was like, that's a part of the sport. That's a sport uniform. So
Right.
you have to move with it. If you want to play the sport, this is what you have to play with. But seeing them, adjust to urban life and hate to say it this way, but Juneteenth gravitating towards us a little bit more. You're branching out on the sport.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's
a little more walk.
yeah. A
little more
You don't feel as off as you should in this situation. Like, yeah, I'm not used to wearing this type of stuff, but now I got my Air Maxes on.
Right.
And this is for golf, so I'm out here. And those are golf shoes? Yes, these are golf shoes.
Yeah. I think that's real cool. I love how they did that. So all right, so let's shift over to your show really quick. What is the Soul Table about? What's the mission of the show?
So the mission of the Soul it's called the Soul Table. And the mission is, it's called Soul Table. It's me, my friend Ashley Hall, and my friend Uncle Mike. We call him Uncle Mike. We try to keep his name out because he likes to stay bare because he's never on camera. Okay. And we basically talk about the community talk about the sneakers community. Talk about the culture, talk about the news, mainly those 3 components. We talk about those things, and we while we do talk about the new releases and the things that are coming out, and we talk about we talk about the past, we talk about the present, we talk about the future, we talk about everything. We don't necessarily talk about how the culture is dying or anything like that. We talk about the change of it because we recognize it's changing. Like,
Right.
we're the people that's carrying this culture because we got the higher standards for it, and then the youth, they come in and they're changing everything.
Right.
And at some point they're going to be talking just like we are, and we also try to ingratiate everybody. So whether it's you told me on the course a couple weeks ago, you were like, I see myself as a former sneakerhead, and I'm like, no, you're still one.
Yeah.
And you still being one, you might not keep up it as much, but when you see it, it's nostalgia for you. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
it's like, damn, I remember those. I
Yeah.
might want to go. Where you get them from? Like, is there? I come across people and I tell them what I do. I tell them about my, my things I got going on, particularly the podcast, and they'll go, you know, I'm not really into sneakers. I recently did an interview for the Associated Press, and the lady goes, "I'm not really into sneakers." I said, "No, you are." I had to literally show her how she was, and she goes, "Well, my boyfriend and we went out and I bought my first pair of Forces." She didn't say Air Forces, she didn't say Nikes, she didn't say sneakers. I said, "You bought your first pair of Forces?" I said, "Yeah." She was like, "I said, how do you feel about them?" She was like, "Oh, I love them." I was like, "And that's why you're low key a sneaker person,
Right.
because you're up here talking Forces. You ain't say Air Forces.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't say I bought my first pair of Nike Air Force. You're talking like, so you recognize it,
Right.
and it's not just an ethnic thing; it's a culture thing.
Yeah.
While you might not have been in it fully, you recognize it and you know. So here we are." And she was like, "Wow, I didn't realize that." And she started watching the show.
There it is. There it is. What's the Grail? What's the number one shoe for you? Who's at the top of the mountaintop for sneakers?
So for me, it's always going to be a Jordan 11. The Grail that I have tons of Grails, but if I get this one shoe, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm out. I quit. I'm done. You ain't got to worry about me buying no more shoes. I'm good. And it's a pair of Air Jordan 1 Dior, the low ones. I don't want the high. Give me the low boys. But for me, the Grail of all Grails is always going to be a Jordan 11 because it's a nostalgic shoe. You know exactly where you are, when you first saw it. You remember how you first saw it. You remember Mike coming back, wearing the 4 or 5. Then he switched to next game, playing against the Magic, and he put on the 23. Now, while they lost that series, the next year he had them all the way on, all the way through. You remember that Christmas, when they came out, and you might have wanted a pair. Now, you probably didn't get them, but you know that shoe. You remember that shoe. That's why that's a great. It's still a conversational piece to this day.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna say that's my number one shoe. That's my number one shoe for sure. The young kids, they probably wouldn't think so. That is the number one shoe, but
They don't. It's always ASIC. New Balance is like a 904. I don't know half the numbers. Like Mike do and Ash, they know them Jones. They actually was going to do shock therapy with me for that, and I was like, I'm cool.
that is hilarious. You talk about the 11s when you remember when you didn't get them when they first released. I didn't get them when they first released because my foot went from a size 6 to a 6.5 that year.
Oh, you was an
And
adult
that's
at
when
that
it went-
point.
Yeah, I was an adult, and
They
was
ain't dropped it down to kids yet.
125. My mom was like, "You ain't getting them Jones." And
I
I remember that day. And I remember I was like, as soon as I was old enough to get a job, I got one because of that situation.
See, your mom was more like mine. Mine's played games with me, like had me thinking I was gonna get them. We was going on a trip to Florida, and she was like, "Pick 2 shoes." So it was them. The guy had them in his hand. He was like, "These ain't come out yet." And I was like, "Mom, can we get
Can I guess the second shoe?
what?"
Was it the Green Hills?
Nope.
Okay, go ahead.
It was
Only
a
because I was
pair-
thinking the Air.
Oh no, think cheap, old black lady. So she saw a pair of Reebok Classics. They was all white. It's wintertime.
The Juvies.
Yep. What was I gonna be doing with these old catchers? And my mom said, "Go to the car." And I go to the car, thinking I got them. I'm like, she bought them. She's surprising me. Cool. The next day, we getting dressed to go to Florida. I said, "Mom, I need my shoes." And she wouldn't let me go to the trunk to get them overnight. Nothing. She's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about them. Just I got you." She goes to the trunk, comes out, puts the Foot Locker bag on the table. I open them up. It's the Reebok Classics. I was like, I'm done. I'm hurt.
Got you with the Juvies.
That's not the first time she got me with that. That was like the third, and it happened for like the next 2 years after that, to the point where I was like, I'm not asking her for no more shoes. I'm just gonna ask my brother. So
Right, I get that.
I still don't trust you, Mom. I still don't trust you.
Yeah, that you could be scarred. You could be
I
scarred
am.
from that.
I won't do that to my kids. I'm like, no, if you get what you want.
Nowadays, kids, they got it easy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, there's so many shoes that just come out and just
And they cool.
yeah, and they real cool. All right, so let's bring it back to golf really quickly. What's your favorite club in your bag?
Favorite club in my bag, my pitching wedge that I just got. That was gifted to me, and it's a little shorter than my regular pitching wedge, but I am flush with it. It felt like I got fitted for this
Okay.
pitching wedge, and I'm hitting a bit further with it. Usually, I average I was averaging like the to 150, like 150, 160. With this, I'm hitting 175. But
With your pitching wedge, you're hitting
because
160?
I swing hard. Is
Bruh.
time out. I swing with a lot of velocity.
Okay.
And I shouldn't be, but it's because like I'm connected. Even like a lot of times I'll take a divot with it, and I'm still getting like between 125, 100 and 125. But that's because I didn't have the finesse that I do. I don't have a lot of finesse, but I'm learning it.
Okay.
So I'm learning how to steer with that a little bit better, a little bit like be more accurate with it. So once I started getting better, I'm getting better with my 5, and I'm definitely getting way better with between my 5 and my 7. I'm getting better with those. But the pitching wedges, that's the clubs I started out with.
Yeah.
Like when I first started going, my first time hitting the links was with my sister. She was like, "You gonna use your pitching wedge and your driver for everything," because I swung too hard.
Right.
Like I didn't know what I was doing, but I could get it where you needed me to put it.
Okay.
So the pitching wedge, definitely.
How often do you practice, and like do you go to the range? How often?
I want to do 3 times a week, but I'm only averaging between 1 and 2. And like I'm definitely at the range for that, because usually in my car I keep my Sunday golf par 3 bag back there, and because it's a lighter bag and it carries like 6 clubs, and it is. I ain't gonna lie, it's comfortable, and I kind of look decent walking through it. Okay. So I kind of want to go to the range and be seen with the bag. Like, no, this is a range bag. I'm not here with all this. I'm here to just do this. I'm here to practice, and I feel like I'm there, and I feel like if you keep practicing at it, you'll eventually find your swing, and you'll find what you're doing wrong. Especially, like if you're not proficient enough with a certain club. So for me, I struggle with my hybrids. So I'm gonna take that with me. I'm gonna practice with it. Like I'm getting a bucket of 200, and 50 of those are for my hybrid. So I got to do that.
Yeah, you got to put into practice, and when you put the practice in, putting in practice in with the stuff that you're not good at is smart, being deliberate with your practice. That's something that I try to do. I definitely like section, like if I go to the range, I know that I'm saving this amount of balls for my driver, this amount of balls for my irons, whatever. One thing that I started doing when I do go to the range, which I need to do more on a weekly basis, is I don't get as many balls as I used to. I only get like 50 balls, and try to make, I try to take my time with every single ball. I try to make sure I do my setup. Try to make sure that I'm like, hey, you only got 50 of them.
You keep the mindset that this is short. And it's,
right, and I just I spend way more time chipping too. Yep. I go to the chipping range, and I've been just trying to get better at that. But yeah, just being deliberate with how you're practicing, I feel like that takes it really takes the game to the next level, and I'm just trying to be better at that.
Right.
Myself.
I gotta think about that. That's a good way of thinking, because, like I said, at that point you're not wasting money. Because like if you got 100 or 200, at that point a certain something will kick in. Like, I just got to get through this bucket.
Yeah, at the end, because then you kind of get like fatigued a little bit. Now you're just whacking them, and then you're like kind of, you might not even be picking your target.
Right.
Right. When I went to the range the other day, what I did is I got my rangefinder out, and I shot all the flags to see how far they are. And then like the clubs that I use the most while I'm playing, I was just trying to hit those numbers.
Yep.
Because being familiar with your clubs is something that I'm in the middle of doing right now. I got some clubs probably about a month ago. So like trying to really narrow down my distances with each club is kind of where I'm at right now, where I'm not getting surprised on the course, where like, my pitching wedge gets blasted over the green because I don't know how far I can hit it.
Right.
So I'm just trying to get better at that. One thing I want to circle back to before I forget, you talked about your Sunday range bag. I just played with my boy and his uncle. His uncle has a range bag. I don't know if it's that brand, but he has a little small range bag, and he connects it to his regular golf bag, and he only puts his wedges and his putter in it.
That's
and he
awesome.
Carries this little small bag to the green every single time we go to the green.
That's a move. I'm stealing
Have
that.
you
That's
ever
a move.
seen that?
I
Yeah.
have not, but that's a move though.
That was
I
so
might do that.
It was so smooth. I mean, he was good too. OG.
That's a
He was
move.
good too. But he'd come up and he was like, "Yeah, so I'll never forget a club. I just throw them all in this bag, then hook it onto my big bag."
And then keep it moving because it's been plenty of times I left a wedge because I didn't. I'm over there and I walked over here and I left it over there and it's not even in the cart path. So it's like
that happens. I know when I first started, I lost a couple clubs doing that. I had a friend who lost a putter. He lost a putter doing that. How do you leave your putter?
How you lose it? You just had the hat for it.
You put the ball, slam the club down, and walk away.
Got a free putt. Like I've been on a course where guys have backtracked. You seen a wedge? And you were like, no. And then I'm like walking up, I'm like, I found a wedge. Dude, where'd ball go? I don't know, but if I don't see him, I got a new wedge. I don't know what else to say at this point because I know the clubhouse is going to be closed when I get back there because we play late. So I'm like, all right, well, keep going.
That's hilarious. So let me ask you this question. When it comes to going to when you go to a new course, do you have like a routine that you do like the night before or something when you're getting ready or day before?
Just hit the range before. Make sure I hit the range that, like the night. I try to hit the range the night before. Try to do it early so I don't get like swingers fatigue if that's even a thing. And just remind myself it's muscle memory. It depends on also too how early it is. So at that point, I think the earliest we played was like 7:50 tee time, and I don't like eating that early. That's a lot. Like I can't do that. But making sure I got something to eat. But the night before, just the same as any other night. Just make sure I don't drink.
Right.
And even then, I probably still get up, but I'm just make sure I don't drink.
Right. Right. All right. All right. We got to take another break for our sponsor. We'll be right back. We plan on being on the golf course all day long this year. Let's do one thing for our wives and make sure that we get the flowers right. Let's leave the gas station flowers along. Let's skip the supermarket and make sure you go down to New Blossom Flowers. You can order flowers. It's easy. They're guaranteed to be fresh, and they're sure to keep you out of trouble. And also, tell them that Swank Golf sent you. All right, we're back on the Swank Golf podcast. We're talking to Evan from Soul Table, also Soul Golf. You got a lot of ventures. You got a lot of things.
Yeah.
Don't you, if I'm not mistaken, you have a nonprofit as well, right?
I do. So I have a nonprofit. It's called Awesome Kicks. It's an organization. It's for autistic children. Art therapy for autistic children. So what we do is we allow autistic kids to design their own sneakers. So we'll do get a Nike Air Force One, take it down and then allow them to put it back together, but with their own modifications. So it's not just, paint on the shoe, slap it on there, and then you're done. It's, helping them to focus. Also, too, within that, it's also, giving the parent or the wraparound or guardian, whoever's taking care of that child, the confidence of knowing this child can actually do more. So it's therapy for both, for the parent, which I have an autistic child, and for the child. And it, like I said, it's a confidence builder for everybody. If you can, I know for me, the reason why I started it was basically because my daughter, had an interest in it. And also too, it was, as a parent of an autistic child, one of the things that we're afraid of is the future. Like what does their future look like? What does the future look like if I'm not around? Because obviously you're taking care of this child and you're like, I need for something for her to do, because at some point she's not going to be able to go to school anymore. Right. And they have lives to live. Yeah. So if you can find something for them to latch on to and give them another outlet, then you feel a little bit better, because right. you don't have a run of the mill, or you don't have that stigmatism about autistic children. Because for me, I know what really was a wake up call for me was I went to a group home setting, and it was in Center City. It was a nice little group home, and it was 2 girls, and their parents basically just threw them in there. And it was like, I couldn't see myself doing that to my child. But they had their lives together. They were 2 sisters. They weren't twins. It was like one was maybe 2 years older than the other one, and their whole day was leave the house, walk around the city, come back at 6, be done. So, did you just pawn your child off? What did you just do? So for me, it was like, can they? There's more that they can do. A lot of them move to a rhythm,
Right.
and painting, you have to have a rhythm.
Right.
Creating is just one giant rhythm. So I caught mine with my daughter, started doing it with other children, and turned it into a organization, turned it into a nonprofit.
That's what's up, man. Out there really doing the work. That's what it's about. Out there doing the work, and how many people can you help
Exactly.
when you're out there? That's cool. Which brings me to another question. Speaking of helping people, if there are any golfers out there that are thinking about golfing and thinking about jumping in, but they're a little nervous, what's some like a tip or something that you would tell someone?
Just do it. Go get you some secondhand clubs and just do it. You're going to be terrible. Nobody's good at this sport. Just do it. Like, get into it. Like, that's it. Everybody was terrible. And it don't matter. You're still going to be terrible. You can be playing this game for 15, 20 years. You're still going to be terrible. Just chalk it. Stop being afraid. Bite the bullet. Just go be terrible. Have fun with your friends. That's all it really is. Just having fun. I don't want to just say networking, but it's life problems on a golf course. You're in the rough. You're in the thick of things. You got to figure something out.
Right.
People giving you advice. You got to figure out which one you want to listen to. Whichever one you listen to might get you out of the hole and back on the fairway. Now you got to try to get to the green, and once you get to the green, victory. That's it. Now go to the next hole and have the same trials and tribulations that you didn't already started out with. Let's go. That's all it really is.
Yeah, you know what? People really don't understand how much fun it is out there.
It really is.
They don't, and
especially after hole 9. Especially after the turnaround.
Right.
But that's when I play better. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It all depends. I don't know. It all depends. It's up and down. I mean, holes 1, 2, and 3, they're always tough for me.
Oh, because it's the start of things.
Yeah, hole 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what it is with me. I just don't start fast. I have like this football coach in my head saying, start fast, and it just doesn't work. It just
No.
it doesn't work.
No. I might I might hit it off the driver once, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be nice today.
Yeah.
And then now the rest of the 17 holes, I can't hit the driver more than 20 feet. And now I'm like, I don't want to play no more, but I'm still gonna play.
Right. Yeah, it's a grind. When they say you got to grind it out, you really do.
You do.
What would you say one of the hardest things of the sport is?
Patience, like really understanding patience and remembering. I don't want to say your fundamentals. I'm saying what works for you, because like I know myself. If I do something right, I try to carry that back over and remembering that might not work for this situation. Yeah. Especially if, let's say, if it's a dog leg course and it, dog legs left or something like that, and I don't have a fade shot yet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't got that, so I'm straight, and that's it. But how do we navigate this problem, and just understanding like it's gonna be hard to get through it.
Yeah, that's something that I always keep in mind when I'm playing. Just trying to like stay like level headed.
Yeah, I can't. I'm an angry dude.
Yeah. I mean, do you find that that's time for you to get the frustration out?
No, because you just dig yourself deeper and deeper into the hole. So, like, one of my friends, like, I golf with consistently, he'll literally be like yards ahead of me. And I'm here and he's driving to my ball that might have been 30 feet. And I'm like, I could have just walked. At that point, I'm walking because I don't even want to be in the cart with you. So I'm going to walk. And he's sitting there watching me swing, and I might hit the ball 5 feet. And he'll look back at me. He'll be like, keep your head down. And he's eating the banana. I'm like, where'd you get the banana from, man? Where'd you get that banana from? That better not be my banana. And then now I'm getting mad over something else. So right there is like that. I don't see it. I try not to get frustrated. But if I get frustrated and then I hit a good shot, and it still looks bad, but it's good, I'm cool. And my only issue is I came here with what balls I use? Diablo balls, right? And I have 9 of them. And now I'm leaving with 9 other balls and no Diablo balls. So I play with what's on the course at that point. Like, oh, this looks like it's going to be cool. So I'm going to take that because I know I'm going to lose another ball.
Right.
So that's it, too. You're going to spend a lot of money on balls.
Yeah, you're going to spend a lot of money on balls. And, I mean, you could be, if you go look in the woods, you're
going to find some. Ain't going to be yours.
They're going to be,
not going to be yours.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Let me ask you this. When it comes to shoes, do you prefer spikes or spikeless?
Uh, I'm okay with spikes, but I definitely would take spikeless over spikes only because like my foot release, I want a smoother foot release. When it comes to also too, I need to be able to feel the ground. I think with spikes, particularly for Nike cleats, I mean Nike spikes, a lot of them had that metal bar in there.
Okay.
And you like the shift is not the same. So
Right.
and also the screws, you can feel those metal screws. Let me be able to put my toes on the ground. I actually have a friend that golfs barefooted.
Okay.
And he nice. He
believe it.
nice.
To be that comfortable, the game is about being comfortable. So to be that comfortable where you can wear no shoes,
No shoes.
You
He
better
just
be nice.
he showed up the one day in flip flops, and I'm like, "You serious about this?" He was like, took him off, started. He bawled. I couldn't even say nothing to him.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You see some crazy techniques out there, but shoeless, I haven't come across that one yet. I haven't come across that yet. So all right, let me ask you this: if you had to have your own shoe, your own signature shoe, um, are you just going with the bread, or do you have like a ideal brand that you would want to sign with?
My mom would say, "Go with the money." My mom would say that, but I have brand loyalty. I have love. If Under Armour came to me and said we're gonna give you 20 mil to wear this shoe, my soul would be like, if you don't take this money and go ahead, go do something with your life. And then Nike said, look, we're gonna give you 500,000, and come on. And I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna take the Nike.
Yeah.
That's because again, I grew up on Nikes. I love Nike. Nike is everything. Even my club is Nike, and like they're obviously Nike don't make clubs no more, so they're definitely second second swing clubs. And I'm like, I can't not say no to the swoosh. I gotta say yes to the swoosh. I don't care how bad they treat me. I'm saying yes to the swoosh. It is what it is.
So it's the brand loyalty all the way through. All right. So, are you the type that, I mean, you mentioned that you got Nike clubs. Are you the type that like it has to cross over to your golf bag?
I'm trying to get out of that because they don't make clubs no more. So like recently, I've been looking at like PXG, TaylorMade, Mizuno, and it's hard because again, like I said, I'm brand loyalty, but I don't have a brand for like clubs, and I know to separate that now because if like I'm at the point where it's like what gives me the better swing, the better shot, what can give me more distance, what can help me, what has more forgiveness because these clubs have zero forgiveness, and what's gonna give me a better launch, like how good will they, not good will they make me, but how will they make me, how will they improve my game? So at this point, no, I'm not looking for brand loyalty at that point.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, if you're looking to get fitted, definitely do that. Because those numbers they matter. I think they matter in like a confidence thing. Like you just feel good with what you're playing with,
Right.
because the science says it.
And Deion says it: look good, feel good, play good.
Exactly.
And
That
they pay
too.
good.
Of course, that's definitely a thing. That's definitely a thing. Me, I like to really talk to like golf professionals and try to pick their brains and try to get as much information about those numbers that I can get while I was building my bag. But yeah, do you plan to get fitted?
Yeah, that's in the near future in the upcoming weeks. I got to.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've had these clubs for 2 years. I told you I had the crackhead clubs. I got these clubs. I have another pair of Nike Vaporfly clubs that I don't use. Yeah. And it's not because they're not good clubs. I'm just like, that's more of a nostalgic pair of clubs.
Right.
I even actually got a Nike Sasquatch driver.
Yeah,
just because it sounds stupid. It is obnoxious, and I just be on like the range and like clank, 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 clank.
That was my first driver.
I had to get that. I couldn't say no to that. Like once I seen the video, I was like, oh, this is all me. I went to eBay. I got it for like $37. When that thing came, I was in my backyard, and like I got a nice big bag, nice size bag. It was like an acre and a half. So I had my little driving mat. I'm like on my patio, and it was like clank, clank, clank. My neighbor's like, "What do you have over there?" I was like, "It's a Sasquatch." He was like, "No."
That's crazy. That's crazy. Those things, they do make tons of noise. The noise of the club matters, though.
It does.
I have a Titleist. I want to upgrade it, but I'm not going to. But I just love the way it sounds.
Yeah, these clubs don't sound like that. But the TaylorMade pitcher wedge that my friend gave me. Chill gave it to me. I ain't gonna lie. Chill, thank you. He gave it to me, and the flush noise is what's getting me. It's like whack, and you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I'm, at that point, like if I'm swinging for the fences, I'm getting 175 out of it. It's happening.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
I'm a videotape and I'm sending it to you just so you know I ain't playing.
No, we gonna play. We gonna play together soon.
Yes, we are.
Like we've played adjacent. We played on the same course.
We in the same league.
The same league, same course, but we've never played together. But we gonna definitely do that. We're gonna definitely link up. Hopefully, I come on your show, talk some shoes.
That's happening. That's
talk
happening.
Some nostalgia. I'm gonna go rip out some old East Bay, papers that I got stashed away. Brush up on some of my nostalgia.
This was 92. This came with a Carl Kanai set. Like, how did this on the same page? Because you know how that is.
I'm gonna get some of my old Easter photos too, just to show the proof that I had some of these shoes
got the
that I
old
might
down
talk
poses
about.
and the karate poses.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
I know. Trust me,
You know
I know.
how it go.
I know. Either you had Reeboks or you ain't have fours. You had Reeboks. You had the latest Jordan. Or you had the craziest Nike. So for me, craziest Nike I had was a Damian Stoudemire. My mom wouldn't give me the Jordan 11s, the Columbias when they first came out.
Okay.
Played me on that. Same situation.
Yeah, that was a rough era right there. I told you I was right on the cusp. So it was like leading up to the 6. I probably had it. I mean, leading up to the 11s, I've had a lot of stuff. Then when 6.5 came, it was some dark eras, man.
I'm sorry.
It was some dark eras, man.
I'm sorry.
But you know what? But we're gonna dive into that when I cross over to yours. And until then, hey, this is the Swank Golf Podcast. I want to thank y'all for joining us on another show. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and until then, I'll see you out on the course.